I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
You could have subscribed to any other YouTube channel, but you chose to subscribe here. So, hit that notification, hit that like button, and tune in with Adrian and Glib Talk. If you talking to hear your own voice, that's Glib. Out into a fish with Glib. Tune in for a discussion with Glib. It's Glib Talk. Glib Talk. Glib Talk. 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 Let's all get right on the late night with a little discussion or a heated debate on sports, news, current events. Glib Talk is where you gotta tune in for facts and different opinions. This is Glib Talk, hosted by Adrian, who will dissect the dichotomy of the fake news by its views. Trying to get to the truth, but we can just shoot the shit. We all trolls in here, that's why the chat stay lit. In the live stream with everyone clowns letting off a little steam. So go ahead and smash the like button. You can subscribe to the page, turn on the notification for the live stream, and upload updates. If you talking to hear your own voice, that's lit. Using your platform to put a pen, that's lit. I can sell drinking water to a fish with Glib. Tune in for
What's going on, Royzell?
It's Glib Talk. Glib Talk. Glib Talk. 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 I hope you enjoyed tonight's show.
This morning.
If you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then everyone who enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that smash that. Matter of fact, smash that like button and turn on them notifications so you won't be tuned out. You can tune in. This is Glib Talk with your host, Adrian.
What's going on, good people? What's going on, good people? Thank you for clicking on the play button. My name is Adrian. This is Glib Talk. And listen, I had to go live because I just wanted to talk about this stuff before it was over. And apparently, as I was looking through my stuff, I hadn't been live all year, so Happy New Year. Thanks for coming around. I appreciate it. I haven't been motivated to go live to talk. I've been trying to keep my opinion to myself because, well, Trump won the election, and there's not really a debate about whether he won. So, the inauguration is on the 20th. It's in a week, and it ruined MLK Day. So, I mean, that's what it did for me. MLK Day, I like to enjoy my day off, do something. But, you know, since I live near so close to D.C., it's nice to go down there on a holiday. It's nice to go to the monument or go to the museum or something. This year, avoiding D.C. at all costs. Not going down there to hang out with the lunatics. Yeah, I'll keep my money in my pocket for that day. That's inauguration day. It's a celebration for that guy, and I don't really feel the need to support. So I'll keep my money in my pocket on that day. But it's good to go live. I'm surprised all this shit is working. But as I was looking through some of my stuff, as I was testing, I realized that on this date last year, I probably made the exact same video about the exact same topic, which it just annoyed me that I saw this, and I was like, I gotta go live because this is fucking stupid. But it doesn't surprise me because this is America. And this is some county in Mississippi. And the people are clearly frustrated in the comment section. They don't like the idea that they've put Robert E. Lee and MLK Day on the same day and that Robert E. Lee got top billing. And, you know, initially I was outraged too. Said, man, this is stupid. You know, this is just more conservative racists trying to prevent the celebration of MLK Day. They didn't want it when it happened initially, and they fought against it. And then I said, well, let me do a little more reading about this MLK Day in Mississippi and why they gave Robert E. Lee top billing. Why? Why would they do this? Who knows? And the other topic I wanted to talk about, which really got me motivated to go live, was the Asians got, you know what I'm saying? They got what they was asking for, the end of affirmative action on college entrance, and now they have found that the people, the gatekeepers of acceptance, did not accept them, and they found another way to exclude them, and in a worse way. So while they believe that the only reason why they weren't getting as many opportunities was because black people existed, they found that white people have found a way to circumvent the system so that way they get more and you get less. But before that, this. So Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee died in 1870, and for some reason, Mississippi has been celebrating Robert E. Lee Day since the early 1900s. And I would imagine that they celebrated it because during Reconstruction, they wanted to remind the niggas that lived there of the oppression that they were feeling through the Confederacy. That's all I could think of. Like they needed to let the people know that the Confederacy was real. It is real. We still have power, and Robert E. Lee was our guy. So for 100 years, they celebrated this damn day. But there's no real reason to celebrate it because you could call him a great American. He was actually a person who was working for the insurgents. He was working for the other side. He couldn't run for political office after the war because he fought for the other side. So there could be some acceptance, I guess, as historically that he existed. What's up, D? The acceptance of the fact that he exists, I get it, but I don't understand why, 100 and some odd years later, he still gets top billing over MLK. And MLK is a federal holiday, MLK Day. It was a Republican president. And for whatever reason, in Mississippi and Alabama, Mississippi and Alabama, they've decided that Robert E. Lee Day still deserves its day. Still deserves its day. And should it be outraged? Yes. Should you move out of Mississippi? Yes. Should you stop spending money in Mississippi? Yes. If you still live in Mississippi, get the hell out of Mississippi. Why are you still there? If you still live there, why are you still there? My mom was born in Meridian, Mississippi. My grandmother's from Mississippi. My family, all my family, my mother's side, from Mississippi. They got the hell up out of there. They got the hell up out of there. And I'm so thankful that in the 60s, they migrated to the north and saved me from being born, raised in that backwoods, impoverished state. I'm so happy that they took me away. Now, not that I moved to Connecticut and lived in lavish luxury. We were in poverty there, but we weren't in poverty in Mississippi. And that was a win, even if it was a loss. But so as I was looking it up, right, I found this article here. This is an article from 2017, which I found to be quite interesting. It's about the MLK Day name change by Mississippi City caused outrage. Yeah, because this city decided to call the holiday what it actually is called on the books in Mississippi, which is, what is it called? Great Americans Day. So in Mississippi, when they passed the law for MLK Day, Mississippi decided we're not going to have MLK Day. We already got a day on the third Monday or whatever the damn day it was, right? We're going to make that day Great Americans Day, and we're going to put Robert E. Lee and MLK together. Sounds like a terrible idea, but sure. If that's what you want to do, do it. In 2017, this goes viral. People fight against it. And then they decide, no, we're going to change it. We're going to fix this. And one of the people who fought to change it was Felix Gines. He is he's the city's only black councilman in Biloxi, right? He was a Democrat in 2017. He fought for the change, and the change happened. He believes that the people who are the gatekeepers of this name had kept it that way for a reason. He doesn't say specifically what the reason was, but he was like, they know why they did it. They know why they didn't change the name. So it seems like Felix is aware of the oppression, the suppression of knowledge and information of blacks in Mississippi. It seems like he understands that, right? And that's cool. And that's cool. So then I just typed in Felix Gines. I said, I wonder what happened to this guy. He was a city councilman in 2017. I wonder if he got reelected. Typed in his name. Look at what I found. and this annoyed me to no end. It annoyed me to no end because this guy, he seems like he's a guy who was aware of what's going on. He understands his situation in his state, and maybe he wants to make it better. You go to his social media platform, it's all about community involvement. He's posting about things that are being done in the community where he lives, which is great. He seems like he does a lot of stuff with the black community. He provides a lot of support. And then for some reason it says, bam, Felix Gines announced his switch to the Mississippi Republican Party, and this is in 2022. So December 5th, 2022, this guy, Felix Gines, decides, you know what? I'm a Republican now. I've always been he says, I've always had conservative values or some shit like that. I'm switching from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party because I have always held conservative values and belief. Good. Now, the 2022 conservative values and beliefs have nothing to do with conservative values or beliefs, but it does have to do with a strong belief in saying the catchphrases of MAGA. And I can't fault this man. I can't fault this man because he lives in Mississippi, which is a Republican-led state. It's a Republican-led state. And in order to get elected in this state, he's trying to run for a higher office. He wants to run for a state rep. And in order to win, he can't win as a Democrat. He can't. He can win the Democratic Party nomination, but he can't win an election as a Democrat. So he switches party to Republican because he wants to win. I can't fault him. I can't blame him for that. Maybe if he gets in as a Republican, he can work the magic from the other side of the aisle. Maybe he can be the person who pulls them more to the left or more to the center, away from the far right MAGA extremists. Maybe this is his strategy, and maybe he could win, but it didn't work. So to I guess explain and go full circle on this guy, he ran as they said he's doing this to run for state office. He did run for state office and he lost. So there was that. His strategy did not work, but he did get reelected as a Biloxi councilman. So that's that. But there's a quote in here that really annoyed me and let me know that we live in a bizarro world, and that regardless of which party you're with, you should listen to what they say and then verify that what they said makes any goddamn sense. This paragraph here, right? The foundation. What's up, John Frank? Wait, now he MAGA, he just conservative Republican. Yeah. Now, yeah. I don't know if he's MAGA. When I went to his social media, I didn't see any Trump posts, but he's definitely fucking went to the Republican side. He's a Republican. So this paragraph here, it says the foundation of the Republican Party are conservative policies that put Americans first, said Governor Tate Reeves. In Mississippi, they have led to historic economic growth, lower taxes, more freedom, and a better quality of life. So these are measurable, right? Economic growth, you can measure. Lower taxes, you can measure. Freedom can't be measured. You can't measure whether you got more freedom in Mississippi or less freedom, right? And a better quality of life. You can measure quality of life, right? And there are ways that this can be done, and there's probably you can just use one chart, right? So this is a chart, right, of the poverty rate in Mississippi from the year 2000 to the year 2023. Now, the Mississippi governor who was elected, Tate Reeves, is accurate in saying that the poverty rate is going down, right? Which means that there are less people living below the poverty line in Mississippi. They started at 18.2, and now they're sitting at 18 point something, right? Seems great. In the mid 2000s, they were 24%. But when you compare Mississippi to every other state and territory in the union, right? They are almost last or last in poverty. They are the poorest state in the country. Mississippi is the poorest state in the country, and they're a conservative-led state from the top to the bottom. It's except for the cities which are run by Democrats. The rest of the state is run by Republicans, and it is the poorest, least educated state in the union. So why am I not surprised that they still have a Robert E. Lee Day on the books? They probably couldn't read it to get it taken off, or they probably the people are not even conscious enough to realize what's happening there. Why would we even care we're hungry? Why would we even care we're poor? Why would we even care? All this stuff is inconsequential to me. I'm living in poverty. Why do I care about the name of some stupid holiday about some guy who I've never met? I don't give a shit. It ain't going to give me no money. It's not going to give me more food stamps. It's not going to help me with Section 8. It's not going to help me find a job. It's not going to help me in any kind of a way. Why do these people not care? They shouldn't care. They're too poor to care. They're the poorest state in the United States. Income inequality has a broad health impact that increases the risk of mortality, poor health outcomes, and other disease risks. Inequalities within the state can accentuate differences in social class and status. Mississippi ranks 51st for the percentage of people who had incomes below the poverty line in 2018. 51st. Now, there's only 50 states, right? There's only 50 states, and there's like 2 territories. So if they're 51st, there's only like a couple places worse than them. Maybe Puerto Rico, maybe the Philippines, some shit. I don't know. Like they are absolutely the poorest state in the union. The poorest. 19.7% of the population in the state is at or below the poverty level compared to the nation at 11%. Now the national poverty rate is 11%. And if you look and see the poverty rate for Mississippi, at some point in time in the last 20 years, they doubled it. They doubled it. That's how poor they are in Mississippi. They still vote Republican. And they believe, according to Tate Reeves, that they're having an economic boom there because of the Republicans. But they're the poorest state in the union. So why should they care about the MLK Day and Robert E. Lee Day? They shouldn't. They shouldn't. They're too poor to care. They're too stupid to care. They should be like, you know what? I don't care. You call it a day whatever the hell you want. Unless you're going to figure out some kind of way to increase my financial situation, I can't care about Robert E. Lee Day. I can't. Who gives a fuck, right? And maybe this is where the Democrats need to step in and not argue about whether this stupid ass holiday is Robert E. Lee or Martin Luther King Day, but how to improve the lives of these people who are poor. And this guy, Felix Gines, who decided that he was going to flip sides because he believes he could do more for the people on the other side, just realized that there's more power to be held on the other side. I'm going to go to the other side because there's more power there. Because even though I believe that he wants to help the situation for blacks in his community and for blacks in the state, and he works within the community to do it, I don't believe that he even believes that the Democratic Party can do it. And so he might as well go to the other side and get what he can get, which is power, which is fine. That's what you want to do. Go for it. But just know that if Mississippi, the poorest, Louisiana's right behind them. But Mississippi, just ridiculously poor. And it's a shame. And DC, don't say you right there, DC. Don't. But DC is so rich, it's ridiculous that there's so much poverty there. But they're so rich. But yeah, Mississippi, man, it's like, throw it away. If like when they want to start adding on countries and cutting stuff off, Mississippi, the whole fucking, just cut those pieces off. Let them go to Mexico. We'll trade them. Let's see. I don't even more poverty in Mississippi. It's terrible. If you don't believe it, just type those words in poverty Mississippi. You get a lot of information on it. This is I saw this and I laughed out loud because it's like, how do these intelligent people fall for this trick? Yale, Princeton, Duke threatened with lawsuit over not complying with Supreme Court ruling on racial preferences in admissions. Now, if you don't know, white Americans have been trying to change the affirmative action laws on school admissions for years, probably 25 years. They've been trying. They've been finding different lawsuits to present. And the most famous one I can remember was a woman in Texas who didn't get into the University of Texas. And she sued the school because she says the only reason why she didn't get in is because they allowed too many blacks in. And now, this was not a white woman of like immense intelligence. She was just an average student. She was average SAT scores. She was average school grades. There was nothing special about her that would make her say she should have absolutely got in. She's just the middle of the road. And the reason why she lost her lawsuit is because she was not special. There was nothing great about her that says that she should have got in, which meant that anyone else who got in was just as qualified as her or more. So her lawsuit didn't go. But I remember hers because she was on Fox News a lot. So then they decided, and this is the same thing that happened with like Roe versus Wade. They find someone who fits into the category so they can sue, so they can get to the Supreme Court, so they can try to change the law. And they did it with Roe versus Wade, right? They found this white woman and they had her lying about she needed an abortion. She had to go and say she was raped by a black man to get an abortion, and they were preventing her from getting the abortion because her state. I think her state was Texas. I can't remember what state it was, but yeah, like the laws, her local laws were so stupid that it had to be fought against. And so there's this group here. This group, what's this group called? This group is called the Students for Fair Admissions. That's what they call it. And this is the letter they wrote. These guys decided they were going to fight against the inequality that Asians were experiencing because Asians are highly qualified for the top colleges, but not getting accepted, or more not. I'll tell you that more Asians are accepted than blacks, but they feel that less blacks should be accepted, and that the only reason why they're getting in is because of affirmative action. Now, this could or could not be true depending on the school, depending on the state, depending on whatever, right? But most of the time, in all these cases, the people who get accepted are qualified. They've met the standard. So if you didn't get in, it's not because you weren't qualified enough. Is that because you met the standard, but so did everybody else? We have to use other factors to determine who gets in. Schools were using affirmative action to try to create a population of diversity, but the Asians were like, well, wait a minute. Whenever you guys do that, you exclude us because we're a smaller portion of society. It seems like it's a fair argument, but when I looked at that, I said the Asians don't know what's going to happen to them. The people who are the gatekeepers of access to these schools are going to use you fighting to remove affirmative action as a way to keep you from access. And that's exactly what happened. The group behind the lawsuit that brought down affirmative action in college admissions is demanding answers from universities that saw almost no change in the racial breakdown of their classes after the ban took effect, arguing that the similarity is evidence of discrimination and possible grounds for a lawsuit. Well, it's funny that you would say that this is evidence of discrimination because you remove the factor that said that you had to take into account your race. So if you can't take into account race, then this isn't discrimination. This is just we created a policy that excluded you. We created this policy that excluded you, and we're not using race, so there you have it. There you have it. We're not using race. Students for Fair Admissions was won this landmark case against Harvard before the Supreme Court last year, sent letters on Tuesday to Yale, Princeton, and Duke urging their lawyers to preserve all potentially relevant documents in the event of litigation. SFAA is deeply concerned that you are not complying with Harvard. The letters read, a reference to the Students for Fair Admissions versus Harvard, the 2023 Supreme Court ruling that outlawed racial preferences in college admissions. You told the Supreme Court that without explicit racial preferences, it would be impossible to obtain the diverse student body that you obtained in the past. Yale, Princeton, and Duke signed an amicus brief in 22 stating that Black and Hispanic enrollment would plunge in the absence of affirmative action. Now, this could be because, that could be read multiple ways, right? It could be read that we are too racist to accept Blacks and Hispanics. It could be read that there are so many legacy and other qualifying factors for people to get into these schools that Blacks and Hispanics wouldn't get in. Or it could be that they're not qualified to get in. The Asians chose to go with they're not qualified to get in. And this was to their folly, right? Because the number of Asian students, meanwhile, declined at all three schools by 2 percentage points at Princeton, 6 percentage points at Yale, and Duke both. Both outcomes would have required dramatic and hitherto unannounced changes to the admissions process, according to the letters, which asked these schools to explain what new, substantial, race-neutral alternatives were adopted after the affirmative action ban. Now, this is a conservative paper, right? And what this conservative paper doesn't point out is that the number of Blacks and Hispanics in these schools didn't change, but the number of Asians declined, which means that it wasn't the Blacks and Hispanics that increased, it was the whites. And why did they increase? Now, this conservative letter doesn't point out this sentence, right? But there's a sentence in here where they say, it says it right here, this sentence. You refuse to eliminate legacy preferences. You refuse to remove legacy preferences. And that's the reason why they were able to reduce the number of Asians in these schools. Because they said, oh, well, we're going to just, we have plenty of people who are qualified to come to this school who parents went here or grandparents went here or had an uncle or aunt or someone that went to this school, and we'll put them at the front of the line. And They could take away race, and now they can use socioeconomic backgrounds. They can do all these other things, and the blacks and the Hispanics could stay the same, but maybe the Asians do not, and they didn't. And it's only to their own folly because they did it to themselves. They did it to themselves, right? And in their argument to try to make it seem like the blacks were the problem wasn't the blacks at all, and the problem wasn't the affirmative action policies that were hurting them. It's that these institutions would like their population to look a certain way, and they're going to work very hard to get it that way. They're just as smart as you. So when you change the way that we can come up with our population, we'll change the way that we evaluate the people so we can get to the same number we want to get to. The same way the federal government changed the 3rd January in the 3rd January in the year to MLK Day. Mississippi found a way to circumvent it to make it Great Americans Day and to keep Robert E. Lee days on the ballot, even though the country does not celebrate Robert E. Lee Day anywhere other than in the South. So, the system, where both sides should be pushing against the main, they tried to convince the minorities to push against each other while the other people walk away with the money. And I thought the Asians were smarter than that, but when this happened, I said this was going to happen. I didn't even have to know. I didn't have to know any of the facts or the policies that was going to change. I knew that when they changed this policy, it wasn't going to be in the interest of the Asians. It wasn't, and it didn't. So they got what they deserved. Everybody should just laugh and say, ha, ha, ha. But we'll see what happens after they do their lawsuit and they try to sue for racial discrimination, of which they cannot use race as a factor. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty certain that they didn't change any of the policies on allowing people in that were legacies. But yo, listen, I got to get to work. I appreciate you guys clicking on the play button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. I'm going to try to do more lives, but I guess I'm so annoyed with the news. I'm just not watching it. I'm just waiting for the wild shit to start happening. So, I don't know. All I want to do is talk about how what he said was going to happen didn't happen, and how our situation. I don't want to gloat and do a touchdown dance because things are getting worse. Because when things get worse for everybody, it gets worse for me too. But I think we're in for a rude awakening of how bad it can get when you have the level of incompetence mixed with the evilness of their agenda. But that's just me. And if you don't believe the agenda is evil, right? Donald Trump did an interview the other day where he talked about America's interest in Greenland. And if you listen to that speech and you listen to anything or read anything that Putin has said about Crimea or Russia's interest in the Ukraine, or if you listen to anything about Hitler and Germany's interest in Poland and Czechoslovakia and those other countries around Germany when they were during World War II, you'll find that they have the exact same language and the exact same ideas about what should happen with land that they believe is theirs. And that's all I'm saying. If you can look that up for yourself and then you come to your own conclusion. But I've already come to my conclusion. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day. Be safe out there. I'll talk to you guys next time on Glip Talk. Peace.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
You could have subscribed to any other YouTube channel, but you chose to subscribe here. So, hit that notification, hit that like button, and tune in with Adrian and Glib Talk. If you talking to hear your own voice, that's clear. Using your platform to poop and pimp, that's clear. I can sell drinking water to a fish with Glib. Tune in for a discussion with Glib. It's Glib Talk. Glib Talk, Glib Talk, it's Glib Talk. Glib Talk, Glib Talk, it's Glib Talk. Glib Talk, Glib Talk, it's Glib Talk. Glib Talk, Glib Talk. Let's all get right on the late night with a little discussion or a heated debate on sports, news, current events. Glib Talk is where you gotta tune in for facts and different opinions. This is Glib Talk, hosted by Adrian, who dissects the dichotomy of the fake news by its views, trying to get to the truth. or we could just shoot the shit. We all trolls and heads, that's why the chat stay lit. In the live stream when everyone clowns let off a little steam. So go ahead and smash the like button. You can subscribe to the page. Turn on the notification for the live stream and upload updates. Like you talking to hear your own voice, that's lit. Using your platform to put a pimp, that's lit. I can sell drinking water to a fish. With Glib. Tune in for a discussion with Glib. It's Glib Talk. Glib Talk. Glib Talk. 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 I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. If you are a first-time viewer, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then everyone who enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that smash that. Matter of fact, smash that like button and turn on them notifications.